I read a post the other day and it was talking from a woman's point of view who was rather annoyed because she said all of her friends tell her how lucky she is that she has this incredible husband and he's also a really incredible father. And she said, listen, no luck was involved in that. I watched how men treated me. I was very aware of how people treated me. And if a man treated me with disrespect, or he took advantage of my time, or he showed a lack of boundaries, I was willing to walk away from that relationship because I was dating with an intention of finding a loving husband and a really good father. And she said, because I carried that throughout, when I found a man that had good characteristics, good morals, good boundaries, and was able to protect what he valued most, she said, I fell in love with that man. And because I fell in love with him as I saw his character develop more, I realized he would make a wonderful father. And at that point, I married this man, and then I'm raising a family with him. So it's not luck, it's smarts. It's being able to have the courage to know what you want and to go for it when you find it and pursue it and stay with it and commit to it. A lot of times I find women blaming men for where they are or what they lack to give. But I don't think that blame is all on men. I think it's on women too, because we need to step up. We need to date with an intention. And when we see behaviors that violate us or disrespect us or take advantage of us or fail to thrive with us, we need to call a spade and say, okay, I'm leaving this relationship. We need to be strong enough to not settle for it and say maybe they'll change in marriage, because they don't. But one of the things I think I can help with in this area is to provide women with yellow flags that they should look for when they're dating. Now, I want to remind you, I know everybody's flagged out, green flags, red flags, pink flags, but yellow flags just mean slow down, get aware, open your eyes, ask questions, and try to understand without judgment where this person is coming from. And when they tell you, believe them and have the courage then to make a decision. Is this going to work for marrying a good husband and hopefully a good father? Will I be able to raise children with this person? If you're not dating with intention, then you shouldn't be following any flags, because you're basically going to end up in situationships or frustrating relationships where you put all the blame on your partner instead of standing up and saying, you know what, it was me from the beginning. I had no idea. I was just dabbling in love and hoping something would come up. Well, good luck with that. But if you are intentional, then this video is going to help you knowing when to step back, slow down, and open your eyes. The first thing, when your date reveals to you consistently that every ex they had or every breakup was because their partner was crazy or faulted in some way. When your date cannot take personal responsibility for what's going on, that's a yellow flag. This is a person that you're considering giving more precious time to. Is this what you want? If you're intentional dating, you're really going to back up from this and go, yeah, this isn't going to work. But of course, you have to ask questions. You can't just judge it outright without understanding why they do what they do, why they're looking at it. You won't be able to see, is it a fragility? Is it a victimization they do? Is it just total inability for them to realize that they can create or walk away from someone? Even if their exes all were crazy, they were part of that relationship. So what part did they contribute? I'm very curious about that. Secondly, when your date doesn't have close friends and your close friends don't like them, say what you will, but when someone doesn't have any good friends, that is, that's a flag for me. That's a sit back and be aware, because I'm all good with loners. But no person is an island. And I don't want to intentionally date and potentially marry someone who doesn't believe that they need others to connect with. Because friends help us identify who we are. Friends hold up a mirror. And if we don't value friendships, then there's something we're afraid of. There's something we're intimidated with. Even more, it's an inability to be vulnerable or trust others. And that gives me reason to be cautious and proceed very slowly. I would ask a lot of questions. And if my friends don't like the person I'm dating, I don't know about you, but my friends have my best interests at heart most of the time. And so if they're telling me, I don't like the way this guy treats you, especially if they go into great detail, I see selfishness, I see arrogance, I see a hypocritical pattern or something like that, for sure get curious with your friends, but don't jump to the defense of your partner. It's more important that you listen to what your friends say and then you start formulating questions. How can I get at this? How can I understand this better? Because I have had friends so blinded by being treated kindly that what they were giving back was just total defense, like denial of the real situation. They just couldn't wrap their head around being treated so well on one level. But man, whenever you get stuck in something like that, you can miss a lot of really important stuff. If your date needs to spend every moment with you, okay, that I know right now for me personally, that would be a trap because that would scare me. I think that the more time your partner needs to be with you and they can't allow you space or they don't have any space for themselves, this is a person who can't be alone. This is a person who can't sit still, who cannot be in their own place without reassurance, stimulation, a phone, or something else. And when they need me or anyone else so much, then guess who has to be that main point person for them for the rest of the relationship? Yeah, that's going to be you. Your friend needs to be balanced. And if your potential date or friend is not, that's going to put a lot of pressure on you, and you have no business trying to fulfill that. One person cannot fulfill all of their partner's needs. So be on alert for that, and once again, ask a lot of questions about that. If your date doesn't have any hobbies or interests that don't include you, there should potentially be within each of us several things we like to do alone or with other people that don't include our partner. And giving all of those up when you're in a relationship is a grave mistake. You want to have at least one or two hobbies that you hang on to. Even through marriage, those interests remain. And the reason they remain is because they add meaning to your life. They make you a better person. They're the person that your partner fell in love with. And if you're willing to give that all up, throw that away for the relationship, you're not only putting all of your total needs in the relationship, but you're telling your partner, who I was when you met me doesn't matter. It's you and I now. And that is very untrue. You need those hobbies to keep you balanced, to keep you the vibrant person they met. If you're willing to give those up, what I see happening long term is you getting resentful, you feeling overwhelmed, you feeling like this other person's totally dependent on you. And in a very real way, you'll set that up if you're not careful with it and if you don't slow down. The next one, when your date doesn't respect your boundaries. If your date comes over or wants to do something during the time that every consistently day or consistently through the week you exercise or do something of value for yourself, that's a problem. Let's say you go to daily mass and your partner insists on coming in or doing something, planning something for that time, even though they know your faith is very important to you and the practice of your faith is extremely important, and you won't want to go out with them during this time. If your partner continues to push that, that's a violation of a boundary. That is a yellow flag. Who would want to do that? Well, someone who is so terrified of the thought of losing you. And that's not romantic. That's not like a lovey-dovey thing you see on TV. That's really desperate. That's scary. That's a person who is not emotionally mature in my books. And so what you need to do is you need to be cautious, ask questions, find out what's happening for them, why they want to always violate whatever boundary they're trying to violate. And lastly, if they aren't close to their parents or family members. I know a lot of people have a lot of reasons why they estrange from family, but according to marriage experts and relationship experts, and I'm one of them, if you value closeness with your family, then it's really important that you date someone with an intention of marriage that is going to align with that. Someone who loves their family, who's close to their family, who respects their family and your family, and is willing to make time for each of your families in your new committed relationship together. So be aware of that. Yes, there are reasons people have to estrange. They have to separate. If you came from a toxic home, that's so important to your livelihood. But if you're the person dating that person, it has to be understood why it's happening, and that potential date still needs to recognize, respect, and not try to isolate you from your family. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.